Let's talk instructional design portfolios. If you want to work as an instructional designer, it's critical that you have a portfolio that can show off to prospective employers, prospective clients, and also just to keep track of the awesome things that you have done. It doesn't have to be fancy and it doesn't have to be complicated. All you really need is two things. First, you need a website, I guess. That's thing number 3. You need a website that just has an About Me page with a way to contact you, and you need a portfolio page. Potentially, those could both just be one page, but that contact is also crucial. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of prominent instructional designer portfolios, and then I'll show you mine, and then we'll talk briefly about what you ought to include on yours. So let's start by taking a look at Tim Slade's portfolio. If you haven't heard of him, he's really prominent in instructional design. He does great work. He's a fantastic presenter if you're ever able to go see him. He's got his own custom domain here, timslade.com. He has a fantastic, well-branded web presence. But let's just take a look at his portfolio here. All right, Tim Slade's been around for a while. He's done a lot of good work. He's worked at a few different places. He's done a lot of custom work for clients as well. And you can take a look at his portfolio here. He's got a couple of categories: custom e-learning development and design. If you scroll down, he's got video and animation. And that's it. He's got 2 categories. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 items under video and animation. He's got 6 items under custom e-learning development and design. So each item has its own page. He's got a little call to action button for each of these saying, check it out. And he's got a custom image for each one as well. He's taken those, what are they called? Stock photo site photos that have like the picture of the computer with the green screen on it and put his own project in there. So that's pretty clever. So let's check one of these out. He's got the same kind of thumbnail image here, and then he actually has a video showing off the project. So he has some screenshots down here as well. He does not actually have a link to the full project. He has a video overview of it as well as screenshots. And then he's got an about this project, just a quick little tidbit there, as well as some details, the tools it took, and the skills below. Now, the reason that he's done a video instead of a link directly to the project is probably because this might have some proprietary content. He did this for PetSmart, and they might have things in there that he's not allowed to show publicly, so he's done a snippet video instead. So that's a really good option if you are working on some proprietary content. You can just do he's got a 1-minute video, a 1 to 2 minute video, maybe 3 minutes max, showing off a project and what's kind of special about it. He's got some nice screenshots here as well, which show off based on the graphic design that he did, a couple of exemplary slides from it. And I do think it's really helpful that he has the tools listed: Storyline, Illustrator, Photoshop, all good things to know, and the skills that it took. Frankly, I'd like to see a little more here about what makes this project special. But you can see this is a really nice landing page for this portfolio piece. So he's got one of these for each of his portfolio pieces. And again, altogether, he only has 10 items in 2 different categories. So this is a very well-known, he's made it, instructional designer in the field, and he only has 10 items. So just keep that in mind as you look at a couple more. All right, let's take a look at Christy Tucker's website. She is a super prolific blogger, and she's got a wonderful portfolio as well. So she works for herself, and she does all sorts of custom e-learning and instructional design. Her portfolio here, let's see, we've got 8 items. She only has 8 items. So again, another prominent instructional designer in the field, only 8 items on her portfolio here. So there's a theme here. Tim Slade has 10, Christy Tucker only has 8. So in general, I recommend somewhere between 6 and 10 items is perfect for your portfolio. You don't need any more than that. And here you can see she's got a nice variety of things as well: branching, simulations, rise, scenarios, conversational content, more branching. I think she's really known for her blog posts that she's done on branching in particular, diversity stories, all good stuff here. So let's take a look at one of these. Now, I've taken a look at her portfolio before, And you'll notice that there's nothing proprietary on here that she's done for a client. Instead, she does so much blogging. She creates a lot of custom content to teach her readers something through her blog posts. So if you are feeling like you don't have enough to actually create a portfolio, create something. Christy Tucker is super prominent, and she will create something, blog about it, teach other people how to do it, and show it off in her portfolio. No proprietary content here. So you'll see here she's got a screenshot of the project, and this will actually link to the project itself. So I believe this is a Captivate project here. It's taking a sweet time loading. So you can actually go through and interact with the content, which is pretty cool. And she has some information about it. So how she built it in Captivate, what she used in Captivate to build it. If you know anything about Captivate, you know advanced actions and variables are kind of a big deal. Captivate's not easy to use, and she made full use of some advanced features there. She has kind of a call to action here. Once you've taken a look at this, contact me. I can work on something similar for you. And she has a link to a blog post on how she built this activity. So again, I mentioned these aren't projects she necessarily built for a client. Instead, she built these on her own, and then she blogged about them. So these are things that she built, blogged about them so other people could learn from it, and then put them onto her portfolio. So she has a lot of information here that shows why that item is important as well, and the thought that she put into it. She has a couple more links down here below as well. So you can see, this isn't complicated. Christy Tucker in particular is a really prolific blogger. You don't have to write huge blog posts about your projects. You just have to have a page, 6 to 10 items, and just make it clear why they're important and give some information about them. I'll show you my portfolio as well, just since we're here chatting together. This is me, I'm Lindsay. My portfolio page has 9 items. Each one has a landing page as well. I've got kind of a spread here of things, and my portfolio is very particular to me and who I am. I teach in a graduate program as my day job. I do some training on the side. I teach instructional design, so I want to have a mix of examples of trainings that I've done, as well as some content that shows I'm qualified to teach on these things. For instance, like I have a fun articulate storyline project here. I am a storyline expert. I'm showing that off here so that you know that. If you wanted to hire me to teach you storyline, I can do that. And how I've structured my portfolio, again, it's not very complicated. I've got a picture of the project itself. You can click on it. It'll take you to the project so you can try it out if you want to. This is actually a coloring demo that I did in response to an e-learning heroes challenge. It was super fun. And I've got a brief little bit of information about it and kind of what makes it special. And I've also got links to try it out and download the raw file if you wanted to play with it as well. So I like to kind of, give out the things that I am working on. So as you are building your own portfolio, again, you only really need 2 things. I mean, of course, you need a web presence. You need a page where you share something about you. So here's an example here. Here's my about page. Here's who I am, kind of what I do, where I'm based. I'm based in Tempe, Arizona. I work online, of course, anywhere as we all do these days. I've got a link to my CV. Again, I'm an academic by day. And I do have a link to my LinkedIn as well. I got kind of a brief excerpt of my experience here. And I have kind of a fun thing here. Learn about me by looking at a 360 mock-up of my office. So it's kind of a fun project that I did to learn to use ThingLink. So it's kind of a fun little about me feature there. And I do have a link to contact me. So I've got a custom form on my website, which is really nice. I don't recommend that you put your email address directly on the web because bots will come by, scrape that, and you'll get so much spam. But if you have a link to your LinkedIn, that's totally fine. It's just really important that you have a way for people to contact you. I do have videos on how to embed your items, your artifacts into your web pages directly during iframes. That's not really the best option. I would suggest taking a screenshot or making some sort of illustration and then linking out to your project. No matter where you host your portfolio, and there's tons of options out there, it's important that you do have your artifacts someplace else. If you have Storyline or Captivate projects, they need to be hosted somewhere like Google Cloud Storage or Amazon S3. Any free website creator or cheap website creator is not going to have a place for you to host your items. It's only going to be a place for you to do like 2D web pages, basically. And as you select your items, again, choose between 6, 10 items, organize them by category if you like. Be sure to list why they're important, but above all, choose items for your portfolio that represent the kind of work that you want to do. I'm sure you've done a ton of good work. I'm sure you'll continue to do good work, but anything you put on your portfolio should show off the things that you want to do. Because someone stumbles across your website and they're looking for someone to create, I don't know, maybe really in-depth analysis reports, and you've got one of those in your portfolio that might be like, cool, I want to hire you to do this. And you might be like, oh, yeah, I mean, I can do that, but that's not really something that I want to spend my time doing, or that I really am enthusiastic about. So maybe that's something you could leave off, or have like a secondary like Google Doc portfolio that just for your own records, or maybe you could send out as needed. But your portfolio itself should show off the things that you've done you've done really well and that you want to do more of in the future. Again, you can always have a separate Google Doc for your own records. If you have proprietary content, you can choose a website creator or a platform that offers the ability to password protect your portfolio. Or again, if you have things that are really proprietary, you can always just put them onto a secret Google Doc, and you can always send that out to people as needed on request. And you can make a note of that in your portfolio too. Like, here's my public pieces. If you want to see more, I want to see something that shows off this particular skill, I can't make that public, but please contact me and I'll send you a link or a password to access that part of my portfolio. Totally normal, totally okay. And again, if you feel like you don't have enough to show off in your portfolio, create things. Look up e-learning heroes challenges. Those are some wonderful prompts to get started creating really cool things. Kristen Anthony has a website called Go Design Something that'll generate a prompt for you to build an artifact in response to and post in your portfolio. Above all, just go out there, have fun with this software, with whatever it is that you're really enthusiastic about, and that enthusiasm will come through on your portfolio as well. If you want to share your portfolio, I would love to see it. I'm also happy to give feedback if you like as well. Make it public, put yourself out there, and always make sure you have a link to contact you so people can reach out to hire you for work.